See, like, hold on. So what you need, when you encounter something like this, you need them Adidas. That's what you need right there.
I don't take shit serious like I used to. Zoom, 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 zoom. I can't see my friends the way I used to see them. Zoom, 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 zoom. Yet I'm still the hottest out here doing it. Zoom, 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 zoom.
What's up, guys? It's your boy Freeze White, and I got my boy Freeze Nova in the cut. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, what's good?
We're gonna be checking out 3 horror stories on car breakdowns. I probably said it wrong. I didn't read the full description. Sorry. Title, Freak. I just want to give you guys a disclaimer. You know, just go subscribe to Mr. Nightmare. I've been watching his stories for a minute, and I always wanted to make a reaction video on it because, you know, honestly, I wanted to get my brother scared because these stories are very, they'll get your skin crawling. But yeah, anything else you want to say, bro?
Let's get into this video and just let you know I am his younger brother, and I am obviously the more better looking one, and obviously I'm more built as
The fuck? Alright, let's get into this video. Oh my god, dude.
One night driving home from work after a graveyard shift, I got a sudden urge to pee. Like, it was really bad. Painfully bad. I was driving down the quiet parkway with no other cars, so I figured I'd pull to the side real quick and pee in the woods. I put my hazards on, just in case that off chance that a cop rolled by. After I finished, I got back in my truck and tried to start it. Instead, all I heard was the sickening sound of a car battery failing to start the engine. I tried at least 5 times before I gave up, not wanting to drain the battery anymore.
That almost looks like
I
our
put
road,
my
doesn't
hazards
it?
on and stepped outside, so I could be ready to wave someone down in hopes that they had jumper cables. When I did see headlights coming down the road, I went to the side of the road and started waving my arms. The car slowed down and went to pull over to the side behind my truck. As I started walking over to the car, the 2 front doors opened and 2 relatively big guys stepped out. I stopped in my tracks and thanked them for stopping. Immediately.
Oh, heck no.
Oh, say anything about that. That's them cheeks, brother.
I'm running. If I see 2 big guys in the I am running in that forest.
I ain't in no forest.
I am gone.
You don't even know what can be in the forest, bro. They can be like, hey, yo, don't they let me get that out. I'm like, oh, go get my hand.
Oh my god.
Immediately asking if they had jumper cables. They looked at each other, then back at me. The driver said, nah. The other guy asked, you stuck? I said, yeah, my battery died. The driver said to give him a sec, he'd call one of his boys. I didn't exactly know how I felt about that. Right away, I found the 2 of them.
He said, nah.
I know it sounds ridiculous, but I got gangster kind of vibes from that. The driver got back into his car after he got on the phone. I did the same. When I was sitting in my car, I couldn't help but feel I needed to call for my own help. I didn't know how much I trusted these 2. So I called my brother's phone.
They're complete strangers, you.
It was past midnight after all. I had woken him up with my call, but I told him I was stuck in an emergency and needed his help. I told him to bring jumper cables and to hurry up. He said he'd be over in a few. When I hung up, I got out from the car and waved my arms out to the car behind me. The driver opened his door and stepped out to look at me, and I called over that I had help on the way and it was cool. All he said was, "Aight then," and got back in his car.
He black. He's black.
The feeling of danger suddenly exited my body, and I felt at ease.
Yeah,
I leaned my seat back so I could relax in the meantime.
Bust down,
It came
Tatiana.
to me that I didn't hear the car pass by. I turned back and saw that the car was still there. It had been almost 5 minutes since I'd waited them on.
Oh,
I
no!
called my brother.
Oh!
He said he just got in the car. I told him to floor it to me and have some weapons ready, because I was pretty sure I was about to be jumped. He said he had his baseball in the back seat as usual. Luckily, my truck was only about 5 minutes from our house. Less if he stepped on it. I started to beat myself up for not just holding it in for another 5 minutes. Then this wouldn't have happened. Finally, more headlights appeared coming up the parkway. The approaching car slowed. I pulled up behind the car that was behind me. I got out from the car and started waving my arms again. But when I saw two of the car doors open, I had a feeling it wasn't my brother. The driver in the first car got out and greeted his apparent goons.
So
They all started gradually making their way over.
hold on. Goons. So these gangsters?
They about to pop the nigga. Like, oh, yo, what's up, money? You call me? You're like, yeah, bro. We got to go white nigga on the street. You know what I'm saying? Either day. You know what I'm saying?
That's just so random though.
Yeah, so basically, guys, this is obviously a white man who's about to get clapped by a couple black people, right? And, you know what I'm saying? So apparently he in the game. He was like, alright then. Nah, man, black person, alright then. And you white, you already know you about to get that ass thrown up. You know what I'm saying? Let's continue this video.
That's tough.
To my truck as they talked loud and cursed at each other. I guess it's worth noting there were no jumper cables in any of their hands. I'm not a lucky
They
person,
probably jump in.
but when I saw the familiar headlights of my brother's Mustang zooming down the parkway,
Oh! Zooming down!
he pulled out his car in front of my truck, and he came out with his baseball bat.
Oh,
He
snap.
pulled out another baseball bat from the back
Hey,
seat.
bro, here you go. Here's the baseball bat, bro. It's time.
He tossed it to me. My brother, being the larger, more dominant.
Hey, if they don't got no guns, then
Firm voice.
boom,
He didn't
boom,
have trouble.
boom.
He
Said they were big.
And let us go about
if
it.
I'm waiting for the freaking wee, freaking the wee, the head, freaking.
One of the guys left. Another one said, "We ain't ever said we want no trouble."
Shut up.
Upon examining the first car,
I
I
got
realized the
my
guy who was in the
beat,
passenger
though.
seat originally wasn't there anymore. I whispered
Yo.
to my brother to be wary.
Yo.
One of the men were missing. My brother got back in his car to bring his hood up in front of my hood. He fetched his cables and connected them to my battery. I kept watching the three men who were lurking by their cars. Now we waited. My brother very softly called my name, and then low-key tilted his head in the direction of the woods. I looked into the woods and saw the man who was originally in the passenger seat and was now hiding in the woods, looking as if he was about to do some kind of sneak-up attack.
What
Brother
the?
told me to try the ignition.
That's me.
So, with one faithful
That's
turn of the
creepy.
key, the engine to my truck started.
That don't add
I
up.
got back out of the truck to literally guard my brother as he unplugged the cords from my battery and put them back in his car. We whispered to each other our plan, and that was for him to throw it in reverse as soon as we got in our cars, and I'd step on it back onto the road. After closing our hoods, we took one last look at the men huddled by the third car, looking at us. Then we ran for our respective vehicles
That's creepy.
and stepped on the gas. My brother floored it in reverse. I waited to give him enough space before I floored it as well. As I did, I heard the shattering of my back windshield.
Oh, heck no!
Then I heard the distinct sounds of gunshots. Which
See, they did have guns. Oh my god.
I
Yo.
got down as low as I could get.
Okay,
and still
yeah,
get
you're
a
right.
view of the
You're right,
road.
bro. Baseball bats ain't
The
gonna
two of
save
us
you,
managed to
yeah,
flee the
yeah,
scene
yeah.
unharmed.
They don't
They didn't
treat you
chase
like
us.
I'm sorry.
We went straight home to tell our 65-year-old dad, who claimed he was 100% sure we just had an encounter with a local gang.
And I was right about that
Dad also
too.
told us not to
Gangsters.
take that specific parkway at night because it's not a safe road. I can only guess they wanted to rob me blind, and they didn't take too kindly to us waving bats in their faces.
Story 2.
I had already called to them, and they didn't respond to me, so that was a very bad sign. Despite my experience in camping and wilderness, I had never been stalked by a human before. And I
I ain't
wasn't
going
comfortable
camping.
there anymore.
This world changed.
I have a license to carry a sidearm, however, and I always bring it with me when I go camping.
Okay.
I felt it was an appropriate time to pull that out from my bag.
Pull that out.
Pull what
I
out?
started to pack my things as fast as possible.
Oh.
I can't
There we
begin
go.
to explain how
There we go.
as I packed up the sleeping bag in tent. I found myself turning around every few seconds to make sure someone
Oh,
wasn't
did you hear
sneaking
that?
up on me.
It sounded like chuckling.
Maybe I wouldn't have been so scared if the footsteps around my camp didn't keep going. When everything was packed, I didn't try to hide the fact that I was sprinting back to my car, which wasn't parked far away. I threw my stuff in the back seat and hopped in, locking the door first thing. I turned the car on. As I put it in
Yo,
drive,
see, I ain't going that far in the woods.
And I heard a
I am
tire
not going
stop.
that far in the woods.
I stopped the car. A low tire pressure alert came on for all 4 tires, and I knew that to call the police. At the same time, I looked in the rearview mirror.
Oh, yeah, why did you do
and I
in the
saw
first
someone
place?
standing at the trunk of my car.
I think somebody's
My
following
heart was
me.
in my stomach at this point. I don't know how I didn't scream. I took a deep breath, grabbed the handgun sitting in the passenger seat, opened the door, and stepped out with aggression. I aimed the gun at the person standing at the back of the car, who raised his hands in the air. I screamed at him as loud and aggressively as I could to get the fuck away from my car. I wasn't bluffing, I was ready to shoot him.
I would have been shot
He
him.
backed away into the woods, and once I couldn't see him anymore, I got back in my car and called the police. I told them to come to the dirt parking area for the particular parking.
Oh, see,
They said a state trooper would be en route.
Oh man, goddamn.
that's I don't know. No.
Don't tell me someone's about to jump in front of the car,
I was
cuz.
still shaking, and I was still cautiously checking my surroundings.
What? Where is
I
this?
never appreciated seeing the police car more,
Woods.
and
He's
when
on
the trooper
woods.
pulled
He's
into a
on a
small
trail
dirt
in
lot
the
with
woods.
his lights on, and I finally felt
Oh
safe
snap! What was
getting out
that?
of my car.
Oh.
The
Yo.
tow truck came 20 minutes later. My car was towed to a repair shop. I slept in my car overnight. And first thing in the morning, my tires were replaced.
See, yeah, I don't like
This
that.
never stopped me from continuing camping.
I don't
Never
like-
stopped you.
What?
I would have PTSD.
Hold on. What?
I would have PTSD.
Honestly, I agree with my
I would
brother.
have schizophrenia, bro. I have voices all up in my head. Tell myself, you're about to die.
Oh yeah, I'm definitely gonna stay in the woods 1 year later.
Turn around. What's behind you?
What's looking behind you, nigga?
They'd be like, we can do this the easy way or the hard way. The choice is yours.
The choice is yours,
I'm not
motherfucker.
looking for kids' butt. I look for a man's butt.
Oh my god, freaking Boondocks reference.
The choice is yours.
The choice is yours.
Come here, Dante.
This is the last story right here, bro.
My old Buick used to have issues with the gas gauge.
Buick.
The gauge was off,
What's
so
that?
sometimes I'd fill the tank completely and the needle on the gauge would still hover around the E. And sometimes when the tank was running low, the needle would sit around death. The needle seemed to decide when it wanted to work or not. Well, one night after coming back from a vacation and not driving for a week, I guess I had forgotten how long it had been since I'd filled up the tank, because the car ran out of gas on some quiet road in an even quieter town.
I don't like that. I don't like that at
I
all.
my girlfriend because she lived too far away, and I didn't want to be a bother. I got out from the car and looked around my
See,
surroundings.
no.
There was not much.
If the
except
car
for
breaks
trees
down,
on
I'm
either
staying in
side
the
and a
car.
small
Your
house
girlfriend's
sitting
your
on
ride
top
or
of the
die,
back of the
brother.
car. So that was my
Better
only
bother
option to
her.
go for it.
But
I
she
went up
started
the
talking
hill
some
to the house and
BS.
rang the bell.
Oh,
It was
wow.
9:30, so it wasn't exactly too late.
Yes,
to
my
be
girlfriend
until
started talking about
someone
some. I'm
was
being
married.
Get your ID.
I waited patiently.
She
There
crazy.
were lights on in the house after all.
So they found a house?
After a minute, I gave the bell one more ring, but I told myself that would be it. After waiting another minute, I accepted defeat and walked away from the door. As I went down the little walkway, I heard a weird noise that seemed to be coming from the side of the house, like the moaning and distressed
Same
breathing
here.
of someone in pain. It came from behind a line of bushes. Quite frankly, I didn't feel right snooping over there, so I continued back down the driveway. I did take a look back at the house, and noticed the light upstairs was on now that wasn't on before, and there was someone standing at the window.
So I
See
said,
their head
don't
and shoulders. I stared for a moment, expecting them to do something, like maybe come to the door. But they didn't move, and it got weird. So I continued back to my car. I leaned on my car door and called AAA, which was my roadside assistance company. They said they would deliver gas to me within half an hour.
After hearing that, I'm
It was too hot
hauling
out
ass.
to sit in my car, so I stayed outside. I waited around texting people, checking Instagram, and pacing back and forth. When I heard a deep voice
Social
go,
media ain't gonna save you,
"Excuse me,"
boy.
my head shot up.
Excuse me.
There was a guy standing by the curb near the driveway to the
Oh!
He was wearing a hat really low and tilted his head down, hiding a lot of his face.
Like
He
this?
asked me if there was a problem. I said I ran out of gas right here. All he said in response was, "Oh." He turned and started walking back up the hill. Pretty soon he disappeared behind the bushes of his property. He seemed like a very creepy man based on that short interaction. I texted my girlfriend about the whole thing, and she said I should go see what that sound I was hearing behind the bushes was.
She
kind of wanted to be honest. So I snuck through the trees next to the guy's house. Went to the side of the house where I heard the noises.
I look at this.
I tiptoed up to the wall of the house and then stopped to listen. There were the moments.
My heart's freaking pounding hard. It's scaring me.
From the window. I went to the window and tried to look inside, but the blind was down, so I couldn't. The sounds were concerning, though. I lightly tapped on the window and said, "Is everything okay?" I heard someone say in a faint, weak voice, "Help." I stood there thinking about what to do, when all of a sudden the blind kicked open, and I saw a face looking back at me through the window.
You dead, I'll leave you on.
It looked like the creepy man who came outside. The kink in the blind dropped back down shut, and then the window dropped closed, so I couldn't hear anything else. I didn't care, though. I ran back down to my car, got in, and locked the door.
Alright,
do this to me.
No,
run them hands.
Nah.
Run them hands.
Nah.
Run them hands.
See, what you need?
Run them.
These Adidas. See, like, hold on. So what you need? When you encounter something like this, you need them Adidas. That's what you need right there. Them Adidas. Give me them.
All you need. Shut your hell.
What?
All you need.
You need some freaking Nike. No, Nike's not freaking Adidas, man.
I waited until the AAA truck came, and when they filled my tank, I didn't say a word about what I just witnessed.
You just witnessed someone freaking getting kidnapped.
I never wanted to see.
Yeah, of course. I'm
staying.
You just witnessed The Shining.
This dude just witnessed The Purge on September. That bit's supposed to be on July.
Alright, guys, so. Alright, so that was the video right there. Honestly, what would you do in that situation, bro?
Oh, Heavenly Father, please give me the power to kill everything I see today. Because I freaking the hell out.
That last story got me. That last one freaked me out. Hope you guys enjoy it. Slap a like on it. Go subscribe to Mr. Nightmare and go check out this video. Slap a like on that video as well. And also subscribe
if we get 2 likes, I will expose my brother and take off his hat. You guys saw that? I exposed him.
But yeah, if you guys enjoyed this video, make sure you give it a like, subscribe to my channel, subscribe to my brother's channel, and more importantly, subscribe to Freeze Unit. Freeze Unit now has over 100 subscribers, so go check it out. And yeah, anything else you want to say? Hey. Rest in peace, Eds. Yeah, see you guys in the next video. Peace.
Game over, game over. Get my name out your mouth, you are not worthy. Game over, game over, game over. If there's one thing that haters are patent that speaks. You cannot go back and talk about people that want to feel close by legacy of the video game. I cannot complain.